Fuck.
What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the Engineers Without Filters podcast. I'm your host, Jacob Thompson, and tonight I'm drinking a good old M43, baby.
Ooh. I'm Joseph, and tonight I've got a King Sue double IPA from Little King Toppling Goliath Brewing Company.
I'm
Is that
Gabe.
Minnesota?
Oh,
No, it's in Iowa.
Oh.
nice.
Continue, Gabe.
I'm Gabe, and I've got the New Holland Brewing Company Hoptronics double IPA that I forgot to take with me from Christmas. As I'm at my parents' place right now, and I found it in the fridge. I'm like, this is perfect. I have to buy a new beer.
Sick. And I am drinking lime LaCroix because I need to hydrate with real water and not bread.
Dude, hydrate or dihydrate?
And also, your name is Dayton.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I'm just really fucking tired right now.
No, that's fine. So, yeah, we're back to the podcast. If just a heads up, Gabe's audio might be worse just because he has a not ideal setup right now.
Yeah, I'm borrowing my brother's headset because I'm using a laptop right now, and my microphone was getting all fucky. It wasn't letting me use it.
So, bear with us. But just a heads up, Gabe's be talking a lot this episode because he's got a lot to say.
Right, so this is
And
going to be
as
great.
do
You guys
I.
are going to hear some shitty audio, but I'm going to talk the most in a couple of episodes. Well, more than a couple episodes. So.
This is going to be one of those rant episodes, so buckle up. Gabe, let's start with you,
Oh,
alright?
Jesus. All right, let me open up my
So-
notepad. I prepared.
Yeah, get your notepad ready. Me and Gabe are both gonna bitch about our summer living situations now that we're both out of them,
Mhm.
and the people who we live with can't hear us talk shit about them.
Correct. Because we're actually in
You
different
guys should have
spots.
grown some balls and did it while you were there.
That wouldn't go well for me.
Yeah,
Oh,
we'd
that's
both
true. You were
together.
with your coworker.
Yeah, I've had meetings with the guy. So, probably wouldn't go very well.
Jacob should have.
Yeah, they're gonna get punishment by just existing without me in that house.
Jesus.
So
Alright,
you want me
Gabe,
to
kick
start
us
a little
off.
bit? So
Yeah.
I think the first thing I want to say is housing there in general is pretty shitty. So there's not a lot of places to live, but they're hiring a lot more, so it's really hard to find a place to live. So this isn't my ideal scenario because I've said before that I was living with a family that had 2 kids and 2 dogs. So the thing that sucked is it was $600 a month, which isn't terrible, but I'm also like I have my own room and that's about it. So you're paying $600 a month and you have very little privacy because my room had a glass sliding door outside and like a very thin curtain. So like I couldn't even change without like people seeing me because they'd just walk outside all the time and you could see right through it.
Yeah.
So that part sucked, and I think the worst part was the kids because I had to share a bathroom with them, and they're kids, right? So they're not going to be clean at all.
Roughly
just-
how old are they?
They're 5 and 7.
Okay.
So they're just anytime they like brush their teeth, they would literally have toothpaste all over the sink.
Mhm.
I didn't even take pictures because it grosses me out, and it just smells like shit, and they never really clean the house a whole lot. So
You're telling me the 5 and 7-year-olds didn't clean up after themselves?
Right, surprise, right? But so it was just fucking super disgusting, like all the time, and there's just shit all over the floor and in the sink and whatever. And like I'm not the cleanest person in the world. I'm just gonna come out and say it. You guys know that. Like I'm not the cleanest person in the world. But like they hit a threshold that like I couldn't handle, which is saying something. Because it was just super gross, and it was just so gross, and the toilet was always disgusting. And the parents never explained to them that they should like be clothed when there's other people around, because they'd come back from
Okay.
like working at because they did like taekwondo or something like that, and they would
Dude,
go to the pool a
classic
lot.
5 and 7-year-old
So,
activity.
They get home sweaty and just get butt-ass naked and run around the house. If that's just your family, that's fine. But it weirds me the fuck out because I'm not related to them. It's just a naked 5 and 7-year-old just running around. It's like, what the hell? And they just didn't care. It was just super annoying. And the dogs were awesome. as dogs, but there's dog hair in fucking everything. Like in the bathroom, in the sink, there was fucking hair, literally everywhere. In my room, even when it was like I got there was dog hair there and shit. So that was fucking gross. But they were also, the one lady was, the wife was like pretty judgy too. So she made a lot of like sly kind of comments like that were kind of like passive aggressive towards me. She made one comment about like me not having any friends. But like I had friends, I just didn't fucking take them to their house, obviously.
Yeah.
And I was just like, fuck you. And then
How
there's a couple
weird would that
times.
have been? It's like,
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm not gonna
hey,
bring my friends to like this
I'm
random.
gonna bring some people over. We're just gonna get drunk and be loud and
Around-
obnoxious.
be
I
drunk
would've
around
told
your
her to
children.
pry the
And that's
red
all I
money
wanna
in my
do.
cold dead hands.
So the fucking that was super annoying. And the kids, you reminded me of the kids. Every fucking morning on the weekend, they'd wake us up at like 6 o'clock.
Saturday morning cartoons, baby.
No, it was Minecraft. So they'd play their Minecraft or whatever, and the mom would come out, tell them to be quiet once, and then just go back and like leave them alone. So like, of course, they're not gonna fucking stay quiet. The mom never really like, I don't know, discipline the kids. They pretty much let them. She would make them whatever they wanted for breakfast. So she'd wake them up, be like, "What do you want for breakfast?" They'd say it, and she would cook it for them, like custom. It's crazy. But anyways, the kids are just super annoying, and the fucking bathroom was super gross, or passive aggressive. And then finally, I guess the last couple weeks I was there, there was a couple of new people looking at like my room to like fill it when I'm leaving, and they hire a cleaning lady, and it was the cleanest I've ever seen that place. Completely spotless. Never like the bathroom was impeccable. So the person walks in, and of course it looks clean, right? But
That almost makes it worse. Like, they know it can be clean, and they
right.
know what it looks like clean, and yet they're just like, yeah, fuck it. We'll just leave it for a year until we get the clean lady again.
Yeah, and I have to like move shit to like make lunch in the morning and stuff because it's like it's too cluttered.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just like obviously the guy was getting duped, and I wanted to say something, but I was like that's kind of rude. But anyways,
You should have slipped him a note as he
Yeah.
was leaving.
but they wanted to clean my they asked me to clean my room or whatever because they were showing off the room or whatever, and I was packing up my stuff anyways. So like yeah, sure. So I pick it up or a decent amount, and it looks pretty decent I thought. And then the cleaning lady went through and like all she really did was just like kind of sweep the floor because it was ridden with dog hair, and I got there anyways, but they got the dog hair out and a few other things. And I come back, and she's like, well, how's your room look? I'm like, I mean, it looks about the same. And she's like, well, we had the cleaning lady go through it, so it looks a lot better. I was like, okay, sure. And she's like, yeah, it was just really dirty before. It's like, okay, whatever.
Also, you suck. I don't know if I mentioned that explicitly, but
Yeah,
I don't like
and I was
you.
like, all right, fuck you. The next fucking morning, I told you guys the story. The next fucking morning, I wake up, because their bedroom's right next to me. I get in the shower and I start walking back, and there's at the end of the hallway, so you like have to see it before I turn into my room. There's a fucking bagel on the floor, like a full, like half of a bagel. It didn't have a bite in it or anything, but it was cooked and just on the ground, and oh my god, it was fucking terrible.
Now,
It-
Gabe, I feel like we need to stop for a second and talk about this bagel.
Uh-huh.
What's the story? Was it a breakfast bagel? Was it a late night snack bagel? Like, how did it get there?
I don't know. I want to say it was a breakfast bagel, and they were just
My
like,
question
well,
is,
I'm
why didn't you
full, and
eat
they
it?
just dropped it. I'm surprised the dogs didn't. Maybe they
All right,
they
dude,
didn't even like
that's a
it.
big warning sign. Right there. That's a big red flag. If the dogs won't eat a bagel off the ground, then who the hell will?
Yeah, the
Dude.
quality of the bagel is up in the air, let's say.
Dude, dogs lick
I mean, I can
crumbs
see with
out
the
of the
5-year-olds.
corners. They'll eat a bagel.
Yeah, and the 5 and 7-year-old didn't eat the bagel.
Yeah, they're crawling in there, just fucking munching on it.
But yeah, it was just like a bunch of little things, and then like they would do construction. There's multiple times where my power would just go out like randomly without any warning. Like, oh, sorry, we were doing construction. You don't have anything for the rest of the day. It's like, really? Obviously, the Wi-Fi is bad. You guys know that because I bitch about it all the time. It was so fucking awful.
But the irony of it, Gabe.
what that he worked at. He was in IT.
Yeah.
But his router was like 8 years old, and he's like, "Oh, it's fine," and it wasn't. Uh, and he
That's just embarrassing.
apparently. So I went to a party, and like I actually went to a party with one of the girls that works for him because he's a manager, and she was saying that they bitch about me using up too much of the internet. Because their kids can't play Minecraft. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Because they both play Minecraft or whatever, and they both watch streams of Fortnite, like individual streamers at the same time. Like, of course, the internet isn't gonna be good. But like me using it for Discord, because a lot of the time I wouldn't even play an online game. I'd just call you guys and like do something else. Except for the latter half when I started playing more Rocket League. But it's just like,
But still, it's like
really, it's
it's
my
no
fault.
excuse.
It's not your fault that you have an 8-year-old router and a shitty internet plan. Like, how is this my fault?
Because even if you weren't on, they'd still have a hard time. Like
Yeah,
doing
and
anything.
there were certain times of the day where like I could literally do nothing. Like I had to upload the data for this podcast or the audio files for this podcast at a Starbucks because it just like it was that bad. It took like it was like an estimated 3 hours to upload this file, and I think it was like 60 megabytes or something for my whole audio.
Have you guys
It
had the
estimated
nitro cold brew
What?
from Starbucks?
I've heard about it. I saw the. Are you talking about that
I thought you were talking
Veritasium
about beer. I
video?
was like, what the fuck?
No.
Because
No.
Veritasium did a video and it was like sponsored by Starbucks.
Dude,
and
alright,
it was
so-
about.
Sorry,
mentioned.
Gabe. This is just a quick interjection.
Oh no, go ahead. This is
I
podcasts
had
are
one
meant
of
for
them.
this.
I had a nitro cold brew, and for the listeners, I don't drink coffee. I've never had a full cup of coffee in my life, and I don't consume caffeine really at all either. And I had one of those nitro cold brews at like 7 p.m. And
Jesus.
I was freaking
Wired.
wired. It didn't
Was it
taste
Did
good
you
though?
like
Did
it?
it like taste good?
No. It was just black coffee. Like, you really think it's
Oh,
gonna taste
okay.
good?
I didn't know if there was like
I mean,
any fancy.
yes, black coffee is tasty.
No. But dude, wow. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure cold brew is more caffeinated than regular coffee because for some reason, if you do it cold, it just keeps more of the caffeine in there.
Yeah, I don't know.
Coffee's like beer though, isn't it? Where like it's an acquired taste. We're like
Yeah, I
don't
agree.
know. I've had like a couple sips of black coffee before, but like Dayton, I haven't had a full cup in my life. I'd never really liked it.
I don't normally drink a full cup. I like to taste coffee. I just like can't have too much caffeine or I'll just start freaking out.
Yeah.
And also like too much coffee like upsets my stomach.
I try to
It's so
quit
acidic.
caffeine just because like freshman year in college, me and Cooper, my roommate,
Cooper
would
has
just-
a caffeine addiction.
Oh yeah, but he got me hooked on it the first year because we would just buy things of like pop and shit, and we would just drink it till like 3 in the morning. Like we'd have one at 3 in the morning and just do
It's
homework.
so bad for you.
And like after a while, I'm like, dude, I can't. I'm done. And I
'cause
switched to like
Cooper's
water
a
and
fucking
caffeine-free
animal.
stuff, and it feels so much better. But there's so many times where I hang out with Cooper, and he's like, I just need some caffeine right now, and that's like the opposite of the type of person I want to be. You know?
It's like, how about you just get enough fucking sleep, kid?
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly.
Oh.
Yeah.
I just
and,
Cooper
grabbed
just wants
on
to
him.
play. He just wants to play Kerbal Space Program until 5 a.m. every night.
And then work at 6 a.m.
Right. Yeah.
All right.
Where did
So
where,
I'm
how did we get
gonna.
off this?
Well, I'm gonna start bitching about my summer.
Oh yeah,
now,
go.
Gabe.
I was done anyways.
Because
So.
I feel like you guys were there when these new tenants moved into our house. So I feel like we can
Dude,
get a little bit of
Cowgirl jeans girl. That's all I remember.
Cowgirl jeans.
And she had a bunch of
Bejeweled
softballs.
Bejeweled booty.
Yeah.
So just to be clear again for the audience, this summer I lived in the same house the four of us lived in the past 2 years, except everyone moved out and I subleased my room from the new tenants because obviously they have to keep filling the house, right? And I did that because I didn't want to move all my shit and then move it again at the end of the summer. I'm like, I'll stay in my same room, easy peasy. You know, what's the worst thing that can happen, Gabe? You know what I'm saying? What's the worst thing that
Oh.
can happen? Now, every
tell.
story
He's about
starts
to
at the
tell you the
beginning.
worst thing that can happen.
Is at this moment he fucked up.
Every starts at the beginning. So let's all think back to before we left, before graduation, when these new fuckers decided to encroach on our territory. All right.
Dude, didn't they post that meme poster? Was that them? Where it was like a really shitty meme. It was like they posted it all over campus, like looking for.
It wasn't a
roommate.
meme. It was just like a normal like.
I don't think it was
House.
a meme. I think it was just
Yeah,
a
it wasn't a
regular
meme.
ad. It was just a
Was
bad
it?
ad.
I could have swore I saw Comic Sans, man.
That doesn't mean
I
it's
don't
a
know.
meme. It just means they're not in touch.
Ironic or not, that's exactly what the cutoff is.
Yeah, it looked like shit. But yeah, so like before we moved out, they started bringing in some of their stuff, which is like, okay, I guess whatever. Like, you know, it is what it is. So people have to leave town before.
They have to
anyway.
get out of the dorms. Like, it makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
But like, to be fair, the last day they had to leave the dorms was the same day as graduation. So they could have waited a little bit, but also it was hectic anyway. But so they started just like, you know, loading shit in our living room, and they had stuff sent to the house, which is whatever, you know. One day though, we're just like hanging out, or maybe we're moving around stuff, and me and Dayton were standing in like the first floor, and one of the guys comes in. He's like, we're literally like standing next to all their stuff. He's like, have you guys seen a box for like a mattress or a mattress frame? And we were literally standing right next to it. We're like, yeah, it's right here. Use your fucking eyeballs. This guy, I've come to learn, is a fucking idiot. So, anyway, so you guys leave, and it was graduation was hectic because like we all had to leave on that Saturday, or you guys all get out on Saturday while they were moving in. So you guys kind of mostly got out in the
They
morning,
didn't
and they
have
came
to
in the
move in on
afternoon.
that Saturday either.
No,
Well, they
but
had to be out of the dorms
They had to
that
move out
day.
of the dorms.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't care. We had to be out of the dorms then too, and we just fucking sucked it up.
Yeah.
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 No, I
Found
know.
somewhere.
I'm just
Dude, I
saying.
sound like a fucking 70-year-old geezer.
So
I'm guessing they don't have a lot of friends to fall back on based on the type of people they were. So I'm guessing.
Well,
they
speaking
didn't
of
have-
that, I don't even know if they were all friends.
I don't
Like I
think
could
they
not
were.
figure out the
well, I
fucking
know
dynamic
at
in this
least
house.
two of them. I mean, I don't know about the people you lived with, but at least two of them weren't because they were looking for two tenants. But well, near the end.
Yeah.
Remember, because I had
Yeah.
to tour these people around twice.
Yeah, you're right. Well, one of them was a couple. Or there was a couple, and I think they were friends with. I don't know. It was fucking weird. But
Well-
anyway, let's start with the front porch. All right, the fucking disrespect they put on our front porch, Joseph.
Fucking lawn chairs.
So, you know, as we're a bunch of college dudes, we would just sit out there and just drink beer, and
we
you know,
would
no
sit
frills.
on our garage roof.
Sit on our
more
garage roof. We don't
specifically.
need fucking decorations, all right? We just fucking drink, all right? Because that's what you do in college, all right? Literally, Saturday night, this mom rolls up with a whole truck full of flowers and decorations, and I'm like, I don't like this one bit, all right? And they come up and just take everything off the porch, all of our, you know, nice
Garbage.
little old garbage and
It
chairs.
was decorated with beer cans, okay?
And they put on these, you know, nice, I'm quoting, nice lawn chairs on there, different colors.
Those
They put on
plastic Adirondack chairs, weren't they?
Exactly. They put on some flower pots, some flower
Weren't they
displays.
fake flowers too?
No, they're real flowers.
Are you sure?
But I'm pretty sure
they
because
were
when,
fake flowers.
in any case, they were flowers. And then they also put up like a live, laugh, love sign on the
Ugh.
fucking front, and I'm just like, literally kill me. Like I'm
Nail in the
embarrassed to live in
coffin.
this house now. So first they ruined the outside of the house. Don't even get me started on the inside of the house. I have a massive list here that I want to get to. So
He actually has a list written out.
Oh, I want to do a quick aside. When you guys were doing your graduation, I was moving out because obviously I haven't graduated yet. So I
Yep.
was just moving out while you guys were going through the whole ceremony and whatnot. And these people, the parents were moving them in or whatever, which, you know, having parents help you move in, that's a very normal thing. The weird
Mhm.
thing was, these two people, the kid never helped. There was like 2 or 3 truckloads, and the fucking daughter was nowhere to be seen. It was just the parents. Like they
Wait,
were.
was it the
kid
girl
was.
with the bedazzled butt jeans?
I think so. So she
Ugh.
was staying at the dorm room while they were fucking unloading everything for her. So they were fucking doing everything for. So the first sign is like, all right, you're either a piece of shit or you are a piece of shit. Like, come on, you have to. If your parents are driving all this way, because I mean, Tech's far away, right? You you
yeah,
have to
yeah.
drive to go there. So your parents are going all this way to help you, and you're not even fucking helping them. Like, it's your fucking house. Like, do it your fucking self. But
Yeah, I've come to learn, Gabe, over the course of summer, these people are fucking incompetent and don't know how to take care of themselves.
Well, do you
Well,
remember
Exhibit
too?
that's what I'm
A.
saying. That's a big sign when someone. Because
Oh,
you're
yeah.
going into your third year of school and you still need your parents to do literally everything for you. Like, at that point, you should be able to figure out how to, you know, fucking live.
Well, the one
Yeah.
girl that wanted to move into my room, she texted me. It's like, hey, we are going to move my stuff in to your room Saturday morning. Does that work? I'm like, no, I'm graduating Saturday morning. I'm gonna be there. Like, I need to get my stuff
Yeah,
out.
I
You can't
remember
just
that.
pile your shit around.
And
mine.
it wasn't a question. It was like phrased like a statement. Like I'm
Yeah.
gonna do this.
Yeah, my parent.
Yeah.
It was like my parents want to do this, and I was like, no, that's not happening. I'm sorry.
Well, like I was getting really annoyed because like I was trying to be nice to them because like I was like
You're
the
gonna live with
liaison.
them.
Well, yeah, and I'm like I know the house, so I figure I could like help them like with the process, and they just like did not like give a shit about me at all, which is like whatever, but also it's kind of annoying. Like I fucking like I know this house, I know what works and what doesn't, but anyway. So
Well,
after you guys left, like first week, right? They decided to just revamp the kitchen. Okay.
Is that in
So
finger quotes as well?
yeah, revamp the kitchen. So, okay, they took out our kitchen table. Fine, I think it was broken as shit.
We threw that
Fucking-
away.
We fixed it with like a 2x4.
Oh yeah, we threw it away.
We
Yeah.
it was.
we hauled it on the trailer to the dump.
Yes, that thing was fucking
Well,
broken.
because that thing broke at a
understandable.
party, right? Like for the audience.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Broke at,
somebody
like,
sat
2
on it
parties.
and just broke it
No,
in half.
too
We
many
fixed
people
it.
sat on it. That was the problem.
Or was it one big person?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Too much weight sat on it. Let's leave it at that.
So they bring in like a little island. I'm like, oh, that's nice, That's a nice little thing to put in there. And then they decide to go through all of our fucking cupboards and cabinets and everything and just take out everything. So when we moved in, there was already like pots and pans there. We're like, great, we'll just use these because it's free.
Yeah. They
and
weren't
they're
great
nice
quality,
enough.
but they did the job for 2
They
years.
did the
weren't
job.
the worst pots and pans I've used in my life, if I'm being honest. So
And for free, like nobody's gonna complain, right?
Yeah.
So these fuckers come in and literally throw away every single thing in the kitchen. Like, despite maybe some of the spices, but every pot and pan and cup fucking gone. They just send it to the dumpster. So already, I'm like, you guys are fucking idiots. Like,
all
literally,
that
this was,
silverware we stole from the dorms.
yeah, all of the plates, like, literally everything they threw away. And it's just like, okay, so you guys just want to, like, buy new stuff? And, like, literally, I was in my room, which is on the first floor. I was overhearing them, like, clean shit out. And they're like, man, these guys bought a lot of stuff for just living in the house for a couple of years. Like, fucker, we didn't buy anything. That stuff came with the house.
Yeah.
And now it's like, you're throwing it away. Okay, so they throw away all this stuff. I'm annoyed, but, like, whatever. They'll get new stuff. So they buy a new set of pots and pans, and so where they buy all new shit. Great. Here's the fucking problem, alright? These fuckers don't know common sense. So they'll, like, make eggs on, like, a fry pan, right? As you do. And then it's a non-stick pan. Instead of hand washing it, oh, throw it in the dishwasher. And you do that about 3 or 4 times, and guess what? The non-stick is fucking
Yeah, it's
destroyed.
fucking gone.
So they literally threw away all of our shit, bought new shit immediately, then immediately ruined everything they bought. So it didn't fucking work. I mean, you can still use it, but it was a bitch and a half. So now, whenever they use things, it has to soak next to the sink for like 3 days. Alright? So it's like, you guys are fucking idiots. Alright? So that's the first problem. Alright? Now, when you have stuff soaking out, a smell starts to appear, right? And there was also the issue of they was just like a refuse to take the garbage out. They would wait till the last possible goddamn second to take the garbage out, and so that smell would start to,
Oh, you gotta tell the
appear.
mac and cheese story real quick though. The pot of mac and cheese.
Oh, I'm getting there, Gabe.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you were gonna leave.
This is a four-part thing. So one, food, like pots and pans are gross and sitting out because they need to be clean because they're not non-stick anymore. 2, they don't take the garbage out. 3, there were 5 of us there this summer, right? And we lived in the house and there were 8 people. Okay, there
Yeah.
were 5 of us, and the entire pantry and fridges were full. Because these fuckers would just buy food, not eat all of it, and then just buy more food. Like, literally, like, the pantry is just full of boxed goods they decided not to eat, like, right away.
Dude, watching
just-
Dayton get wide-eyed as you say that was killing me.
And guess what happens when the pantry and the fridges are full? They start putting food on the counters, right? And now we got about 40% of the counter space that we're used to having.
How much food do
okay?
these fuckers need? There was literally
don't fucking
at
know.
one point there was 9 of us and we had enough food with Joseph's
That's what I'm
girlfriend.
saying.
Oh yeah, I was like,
That's-
yeah.
And like we had room to spare sometimes with that. There's
yeah.
5 of us. I have one shelf in the fridge and I have a half of a shelf in the pantry. And somehow these fuckers are filling up everything else, right? So there's fresh fruit out everywhere. There's just random shit all over in the kitchen. That smell starts to go up. And on top of that, these fuckers will just leave food out that they made. And like Gabe was alluding to, For example, they just like make mac and cheese on the stove, right? Whatever. They take about half of it, put it in a bowl, go upstairs to eat it, and they just leave the
Oh,
pot with mac and cheese in it out for literally days. Like at least
Oh.
3 days. And this shit would happen all the time. So that's the four smell. So this can like totally combines to the kitchen just smelling like ass 24/7, right? And so I'm there, and I like to cook. So I'm like, how the fuck am I gonna cook? I can't use any of these shoddy ass pots and pans they bought 'cause they're all ruined now. So I had my wok that I use like exclusively, and I had the oven. So I had to like get creative this entire summer of how the fuck I was gonna cook shit.
Wait.
Um,
Did they throw away the pizza oven?
no, but they were
Okay.
afraid to use it. They were like,
what?
I don't know how this works.
It's a fucking. There's one dial.
And I literally told
one
them, I'm like,
handle.
yeah, I'm like, literally, you put the pizza and you turn the dial. And they're like, well, how long do I put it in for? And I'm like, fucking trial and error. It's not that fucking hard. Just check it every once in a while if you don't know. Like, so they would just like use the oven or just not, or they would just buy Domino's. Or just, Gabe, here's what they do. They go get Domino's, eat half the pizza, then just leave it on the counter for 3 fucking days. They wouldn't put it in the fucking fridge.
Oh
Like,
my
dude, it was
God.
fucking
it sounds like us
disgusting.
with Little Caesars, except we didn't buy that. We just got
Yeah.
it for free.
Yeah, but we'd at least usually put it in the fridge the next
At some
morning.
point.
Sometimes.
But we did not put Little Caesars in the fridge. I would eat that shit like
Sometimes.
3 days later. But that's okay. It's not even just
Okay,
pizza. It's just
I would
apples.
like bag up like 4 slices and put it
Oh,
on
yeah.
my shelf on
Well,
the fridge.
because he'd come home at like 11:30 and he'd bring like 3 pizzas, and I would just like get a gallon plastic bag, throw in 3 slices, and put it on my shelf.
Just
use it the next
take
day.
care of it. So
That
then, yeah,
was
so there's
the
food
first
out
round.
all everywhere, and then on top of that, they wouldn't clean the sink out, so the sink's always full of shit. They wouldn't clean out the drain catches, right? So there's just
Because there's no
like,
garbage disposal for those.
There's no garbage
No,
disposal.
no.
But like the last week I was there was some cream, like white cream sauce just in the drain catch for like, and it like solidified in there.
Oh,
So what I'm getting at is there's fruit flies fucking everywhere in this kitchen, like fucking everywhere, dude. And like one day I had just go to gyms and buy a bunch of shit for traps, and I'm like, I don't want to have to spend money on this, but I literally can't take it anymore. So the kitchen, a nightmare. And like Gabe was saying, like every morning I had to fucking find some little patch on the counter that I could use to make my lunch
yeah.
that wasn't covered in food or like syrup that they just decided not to clean up. Like it was just a fucking nightmare, right?
Okay, pause, time out.
Yeah.
I
gotta check my
really
list anyway.
hope that they blame you for this in their heads. Like somehow it's like, oh, it's that guy.
It's definitely Jacob. That
He's
old
just
guy.
That's
bitter,
how
blah,
that's
blah,
how
blah.
idiots rationalize things, though.
Yeah.
Exactly.
This
is
So then
exactly how
you're
idiots
gonna go.
rationalize.
You moved out, right? And they're still gonna blame you months later for the state of the kitchen.
Dayton, you remember the first summer that we had the house, it was me, Dayton, Josh, and Max, and Alan, right? And we
Mhm.
had fruit flies for a little bit. And we, from the sounds of it, weren't nearly as bad. Like, fruit flies are just
Well, like
bad
fruit
up there.
flies,
And
they're
we,
gonna happen.
Yeah, and we got
You can't
the
avoid it.
wine and poked some holes in it, and it got rid of
Yep.
them pretty quick.
Yeah, I mean, fruit flies are gonna happen. I'm not saying you can totally avoid it, but these guys were fucking just breeding them themselves. You know, they wanted that shit to happen. Like literally one time, I turned on the sink and they just all just boom right out of the drain because they were all
Oh.
fucking breeding in there from all the food like just sitting in the drain. It was fucking
They're
gross.
like bats coming out of the cave.
Exactly, dude. Okay, so then to top off the kitchen part of the house, so that's only
We're
one
just
part
on
of
the
it.
kitchen. Oh my gosh.
Gabe, you mentioned a bagel being on the floor. All right,
Yeah.
that is fucking nothing. Okay. Okay, so I moved into the house, or no, sorry, they moved in May, right? Beginning of May, all right? Within the first week, a Tupperware container appeared in the kitchen, like on the counter. And I'm like, okay, why the fuck is there Tupperware, like, on the counter and not in the fridge, right? And, I glanced in there because it's clear. I didn't open it because I'm not that stupid. I look in there, and I see some sort of pasta sauce, and I think there's some chicken in there. There's definitely chicken in this Tupperware, all right?
Mhm.
This Tupperware sat on the counter. It's still there. Like for months, 3 months. It was still there when I left.
Oh,
I can't even fucking imagine what kind of bacteria and shit is like festering inside that Tupperware container. And like I just didn't have the balls to like throw it away because I didn't want to touch it.
They're
Which,
probably
like,
making
how-
chicken kombucha.
Well, it's just like how I don't understand how dumb you can be. And that's literally just been sitting there in the corner of the kitchen for fucking months. And I guarantee if I went back there this December, it would still be there.
Ugh.
Because it's people are just gotten like they're just used to it, you know. Like if you see something that you see every day, it kind of loses that side of your vision.
Right.
Fucking disgusting. All right, now let's move on. I'm gonna go back to the porch quick, 'cause I forgot to mention a couple things of the porch.
How
So
deep
this
I
do
have
you
a
mom-
want
funny
me to
story
list?
about the porch that I want to
Go for it, Joseph.
mention.
Go for it.
So when I moved out, it was that Saturday of graduation.
Mhm.
I like had some last minute things that we had to take care of, because of course the cars are fucking stacked to the brim.
Yeah,
with,
cars are full.
with my bullshit, and so we come back, get the last minute stuff. And my dad's like, "You got any beer left over?" And I was like, "Yeah, I got 4 Labatt Tall Boys. Like, let's go." And he's like, "There's 4 of us here. Like 4 beers. Like perfect." And so we get them out. We sit on the porch on these nice new chairs next to these nice flower pots. It's like this isn't even my house anymore. I don't know where. I
It's
feel
already
like I'm
dead.
not.
It's
Yeah.
been 10 hours or 2
I mo-
hours.
I moved out at least, like a couple hours ago. Like, this is not my house anymore. Like, this is blasphemy. And so my dad fucking crushes, right, his beer, right, just slams it. And
Good old Joe.
and he looks around and he goes, "I'm not seeing a garbage around here." I'm like, "Yeah, usually we just throw it over the railing or
Right,
something."
on the roof.
Yeah. And he kind of looks around and he goes, "I think this will do," and puts it in one of the flower pots. So then we finish our beers and we put all our beers in different flower pots and hit them around for them to find later.
I did not approve this plan because I knew I would be blamed for it. And so Joseph told me he did this. He's like, "Yeah, we put 4 cans in the flower pots." I'm like, "You fucker." So I went out there one morning and found 3 of them. I couldn't find the 4th one. I'm like, fuck. And literally, that chick whose mom, like, redid the porch, the mom was over, and they were, like, watering the plants. And she's like, and she found it. And I overheard her be like, "Oh, it must have been those older guys or whatever." Like, God fucking damn it. Like, I know they fucking must hate me now. They're talking shit about me, right?
I love how we're called the old guys.
I forgot what she used, but it was some fucking.
Oh, that's
yeah.
so funny.
She was talking shit. So that back to the porch fix. So then she also put a bird feeder up, right?
Okay, a
There's
bird
so many
feeder's
birds.
nice.
So filled with bird
Okay,
seed, right? And
they're
it's just
alright.
like, okay, whatever. It's like, but you know what a bird feeder is great at doing? Attracting bird shit to your fucking porch. Every day I come home from fucking class and there'd be more bird shit on the porch because birds just eat it and then just fucking shit everywhere. And so eventually, through birds eating it, and also we had a storm one time that just destroyed the porch. Like all those chairs and flowers went flying, right? And nobody cleaned it up because nobody gave a shit because the girl whose mom set up the porch was gone for the summer, so nobody gave a fuck. So I moved some of the chairs back, and then the bird seed just went everywhere. So at some point in the summer, like halfway through, the bird seed was empty, so it's just empty bird feeder. And again, nobody fucking gave a shit about this thing, so they just put it in the garage. So it's like, what was the point? What was the fucking point of this? The only person that cared about this was that one girl's mom. Nobody else gives a shit. God. Okay. So now I'm gonna go to the bathroom. All right. Bathroom's not as long-winded. So I've never lived with girls before. I know Joseph, Dayton, you guys have sisters. Gabe, you've had a girlfriend with long
Girls
hair.
are gross.
Girls are
Yeah,
fucking
they're
gross, okay?
I was just talking about this the other day to my family, actually, about how fucking gross it is to share a bathroom with a woman. No
It's
offense,
fucking
women that are
disgusting.
listening. The 25% of you on the Spotify analytics.
But your hair
Well, this
gets
is from-
fucking
But
this is
your
my
everywhere.
hair
personal-
is awful.
This is my personal experience, but I want to preface this by saying, okay, so in our house we have 2.5 bathrooms, right? Half bathroom on the first floor, just a toilet and sink, right? Full bathroom on the second floor, full bathroom on the third floor. The third floor bathroom is nicer because it's a nicer shower, it's nicer everything. So that's the preferred use case, right? But of course, when you have 7 or 8 people living in the house, you want to split up who's using what. But for some goddamn reason, all 5 of us this summer were using the third floor bathroom only.
Well, it's the nicest
All 5 of
bathroom,
us.
to be fair.
Yeah, but 3 of them lived on the fucking second floor. Just use the fucking second floor shower. So what this ended up with was there's hair literally everywhere in this fucking bathroom. Like, it's a hardwood floor, so you can't really see it when you walk in. But if you get down, crouch down a little bit, there's just hair lining the entire floor of the bathroom, right? And there's hair on the toilet, there's hair in the shower. I'd fucking walk in, there's just black hairs all over the side of the wall and on the curtain. I'm just like, fucking kill me, right?
That shower
And you
had
know
a
what?
problem, too, with drainage, especially with hair.
Yeah,
'Cause I know when
yeah, that
Katie
shower.
was around for a while, it started becoming a problem.
Yeah, it's an old house, so like that thing will clog, and it clogged once, and then they added a drain catch, so it's like, okay, whatever, it's fine. And you know, it wouldn't even be that bad because I could just like walk around it. I wear flip flops because if you are barefoot in our house, you're fucking asking for trouble.
Oh yeah.
But
Yeah.
so I got around it. But it wasn't even that. It was that okay. Also, we had a nice shower curtain in the bathroom, didn't we, Joseph?
Yeah.
It was a
pretty
nice, pretty new shower
It
curtain,
wasn't
right?
good enough, was it?
No, but let's just get rid of that and let's replace it with literally only a clear plastic
Oh,
lining. Not even no curtain, just a clear plastic lining, right? Okay,
but there's
that's a
mirrors on
great
the other
fucking
side,
plan.
so you can like see yourself.
It's not even that, Gabe. That's
Uh,
not even the worst part. What the worst part is the turf bath has windows, right? And it's the summer, so the sun is like beating down. So the sun comes in through the windows, it starts superheating this fucking plastic, and the entire bathroom smells like plastic when you're fucking taking a shower. And it's fucking disgusting. I don't want to fucking smell plastic while I'm trying to get clean. And then they added a fucking one of those bubble mats that you put on the floor for traction, which it didn't fucking need because it was already textured, right? So of course the thing didn't stick.
for like
And that
retired
also
people, like old
Yeah.
senior citizens.
and of course
Well,
that's
not
plastic
all
too, so that's
tubs are.
super heat.
Like the tub I grew up in
Oh, you're
is
talking
like
about
soft.
in the tub. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, like in the
It's
tub. You
like
remember the third
smooth,
floor?
So you
Yeah.
fall on your ass, right?
Yeah, but they're
You-
that's definitely a textured bathtub.
Yeah, it's a texture back up, so they tried to put it on, didn't fucking stick, right? And that's also plastic, so that's super heating and smelling. And then of course that just gets shoved to the side at some point because it doesn't work. But what I'm getting at here is that every time I walked in the bathroom, something was different. And it just didn't make any sense. Like when we all lived together, we all had our routines, and every time I walked in the bathroom, my shampoo and your shampoo and Dane's shampoo would all be in the same places, and it would just be fine, right? Every fucking day I walked in here and something had changed. Like like I said, one day the mat's in the tub, one day it's scrunched off in the side of the tub. One day I walk in, there's a fucking razor just sitting on the floor. One day I walk in, there's huge bottles of shampoo just in the middle of the bathtub. It's like one day, so they replaced the shower head with one of the ones that can like come off and you can move it around,
Mhm.
with like I don't know how to describe it to audio listeners.
Like a
well, but-
wand.
Yeah.
Like a
Right.
wand, right? So you put it in like the holder so it can like spray down on you. That's just hanging off the handle, just dangling in the shower. I'm like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Like I don't understand. Just leave the shower how like it was when you got there. Is it that fucking hard? Like I don't understand these people. They're fucking idiots.
Wait,
and this
so
leads
they
me to my
actually replaced the shower head?
yeah, they replaced the shower head.
I'm
with one of the
surprised that
wand
they
things.
knew how to do that. These guys seem like a bunch of fucking gourds.
Well, it's probably that one chick's parents. I think that mom
Dude,
was on a fucking rampage in this house,
I'm
dude. She just
telling
wanted
you,
to change everything.
that set of parents was doing everything for him. Like,
They were the ones too who wanted to get the bar out of there. I didn't even talk about the fucking bar. I forgot about that.
didn't they move it back though?
Yeah, so this apparently, so we had a bar in our bar room.
It's heavy.
Where
We had
Very,
a bar
very
in
heavy.
our bar room.
Yeah, so I don't know how else to describe it. It's like a living room. We had a bar in it, and
we call it the
we
bar
had
room.
we called the bar.
No,
room.
it's just like a very. You'd have to. Just the fact we call it a bar room. Clearly, it has a bar in it.
So this mom walks in one day and apparently is a very religious type, and is like, "Well, I don't want my daughter drinking in this house. Let's get rid of the bar. That'll stop her." It's like, yeah, great fucking plan. So of course we have to fucking move the bar ourselves for some goddamn reason.
Yeah,
The
the
thing's
landlord
heavy
told
as
us to
shit.
do that.
So we spend like hours and a bunch of fucking manpower hauling this thing down to the basement. Great, we did it. Show's over. 2 months later,
Didn't we
the
kind of
tenants.
put it in the back too, so that it's like, oh, they don't want it, so they're not gonna need it.
Yeah, we put it like kind of a hard
Put-
to reach
Put
spot.
it out of the way, right? We're
Yeah.
thinking ahead because we're
Yeah,
engineers and we're smart.
and we're good guys. We'll fucking move this. We don't want to. 2 months into the summer, the new tenant's like, wait a second, that bar would actually be pretty nice. Let's bring it back up here. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, we literally spent so much time getting that shit down to the basement. Do it yourselves. Like, I'm not fucking helping with this. And yeah, they got it back up there and they put it in the fucking living room again. And I'm just like, what? You guys are fucking idiots. But anyway, to get to the real crux is the garbage situation. I alluded to it earlier. But yeah, so I gotta start by talking about yellow versus orange trash bags, alright? And it sounds dumb, but I gotta talk about it, okay?
This
In the
is
city of Houghton,
very
you can-
Houghton,
you buy
like
trash bags from
anybody
the
who's
city,
listening outside
and-
of Houghton.
Yeah, you buy trash bags,
Yeah.
and that's like their garbage fee. You buy the trash bags and they pick it up for free. Pretty nice system. You buy different sizes. So yellow bags are like a normal trash can size. Then you got the orange bags are a lot bigger, right? The trash can we have in the kitchen perfectly fits a yellow bag. So that when it gets to the top, the bag is full and you take it out, right? Simple enough. these fuckers started buying the orange bags, right? Which doesn't fit in the trash can. It overflows out of the trash can. So here's what happens. When the trash reaches the top of the trash can, you're like, okay, trash is full. You pull out the trash bag. No, you got a whole bunch more room in the trash bag. And you're like, oh, I don't want to waste this room. I can't put it back in the trash can, so I'm just going to put it on the floor. So then you end up with a orange massive trash bag on the floor of the kitchen, just full of fucking trash and old food, and again, just stinking up the place, right? And that just sits there for a few days, let that marinate, while we fill it up and stick little things in there, make sure it's full, right? Okay, so that's the first problem. Second problem is when it does get full, these fuckers are like, should I take this down to the garage, or should I just leave it in the kitchen? Let's leave it in the kitchen. So they'll tie it off and just leave it there.
Oh,
I'll put a
they
new trash
tie
bag
it
and we'll just
off?
leave that. Tie it off and just leave it in the kitchen. I don't feel like moving it. Let's just keep it in the kitchen. Or let's put it, so we had 2 back doors with a little space in between with a foyer in between or something, right? Let's put it between the 2 back doors and let the sun really cook that and let that marinate in the back space and have that smell bad. You know, because I
The
don't want
area
to go
gets so
downstairs. I can't be bothered to bring this trash down to the basement. You know, I'm just gonna leave it back there and let it smell really bad. So now before I get to this part of the story, I gotta ask Dayton a question. Dayton, what happened last year when we put trash bags in the garage?
Some skunks got into them.
And what did the skunks do?
They tore the bags open, pissed and shit all over the place, and puked. Yeah.
Yeah. And what did we do to make sure that didn't happen anymore?
Well, first we moved them into the basement. Except from the garage you can get into the basement, so the skunks got into there too, tore open trash inside of the basement. So
Not
then,
ideal.
so then we went and we got a closing, latched bin outside, and we just put trash in there, and lo and behold, the skunks stopped showing up.
Who would have thought? You put trash in a closed trash bin and skunks can't get into it.
Who'd have thunk?
Who would have thunk, right? So of course, as the nice person I am, when these new fuckers move in, I'm like, hey, just a heads up. Last year, when we put trash in the garage, skunks would get into it. So we bought this trash bin, put it in the bin, no problem. You know, we're all good. Doesn't seem like fucking rocket science to me. You know, I'm trying to help out these people. So on the rare day when they do decide to bring the trash down to the garage, guess what they don't do? Put it in the fucking trash bin. They would literally put it right next to the trash bin, but no, I can't put it in there. I can't be bothered to lift my arm up, a few more feet and put it in the trash bin. So this happened a couple times, and every time it happened, I would put it in the trash bin, and I'd send out a group message to the chat like, hey guys, reminder, if you don't put the trash in the closed trash bin, skunks are getting in here. And for some goddamn reason, they don't listen to me. One day, open the garage to get my bike, and of course, trash fucking everywhere. Piss and shit and vomit fucking everywhere from skunks. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me right now? I text the chat with a picture of the mess, and I'm like, hey, this happened. I warned you it happened 3 times. Okay? I'm not cleaning this up. Fucking clean it up. I leave. This is at like 10 a.m. I bike to campus. I come home at like 6 p.m. It's still there. And I'm like, and of course the smell is starting to percolate in the trash, right? And they're getting the garage.
Uh-huh.
So I'm like, all right, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. I go to bed, wake up the next morning, walk into the garage, still full of trash everywhere. And I'm like, okay, so I text their leader, their Dayton, as you will, of the house, who take care of the bills and stuff. And I'm like, hey, somebody needs to clean this up like yesterday. I'm not cleaning it up. Somebody needs to do it. And she's like, yeah, it was this one guy in the house who I knew was just an idiot. And he was the one who took down the trash and didn't put it in the bin. I'm like, okay, well, you need to talk to him because I'm not going to do it. Like, just talk to him. And she's like, okay, I'll text him. So according to her, she like texted him and he was like, oh, okay, I guess I'll do it. And it's like, you don't feel any guilt for this? Like, it was your fault. Like, clean it up. And he didn't even put the stuff in a new trash bag. He literally just like dumped all the trash with like the already ripped trash bag into the trash can without like putting it in a new bag. So that's just sitting there now. And I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna deal with this. I guarantee you guys, it's gonna stay in there for the entire school year. Like, nobody is gonna clean up that trash.
Yeah,
Maybe
I think
that
it requires at least 5 brain cells to have a feeling of guilt.
So yeah, so this summer this sucked, right? Because I would go to campus, I get my ass kicked in by organic chemistry 2. I get home, I got my ass kicked in by the stupidity and disgustingness that was this house. And what it just comes down to is like these people just didn't think that anyone else lived there. You know, like they would do their thing and like, yep, I'm just gonna leave it like this because I'm the only person who lives in this house, so it doesn't matter. It's
Yeah.
like, no, you live with 4 or 5 other people. Like you need to like take care of yourself. And there is the thing that cracked me up. There was one night when I was in my room and I overheard in the kitchen, and the one girl's like, yeah, you know, we got 5 people now. We're gonna have 2 more people living here during the school year. And the guy who didn't put the trash in the trash bin goes, oh, I don't know. I kind of like having just 5 people. And it's like, fuck you, dude. Like, you're the reason the house is a fucking shithole. Like, you're the reason food's out. You're the reason the trash explodes. Like, God. So, yeah.
Yikes.
People are dumb. I hate them. I just don't understand how you cannot have, like, this human decency of just being able to take care of yourself and clean up and all this stuff.
That requires 7 brain cells.
Yeah, being cognizant
Well, it's like people go to-
of other people is, I mean, it's a simple thing to learn, but it's critical, you know? Like,
Usually you
yeah.
learn that in about 3rd grade, though.
right.
Well, it's like they go to Michigan Tech. Like, I can't imagine they're doing well in their classes if this is the kind of brain power they're putting into their home life. Like,
But they're
Ugh.
also going to Michigan Tech. There's a lot of fucking weird people that go to Michigan
oh,
Tech.
yeah. I mean,
It
I overheard
doesn't-
one of the girls. I was in my room and they were talking outside of my door, and she's like, "Yeah, I got to go on academic probation again," and I'm like, "Yikes!" I mean, you do you, but it's just like,
You got
and
the
it's if it
burden.
was just like, if it was just them, if they were all friends, you know, whatever. But I'm there, I'm not like a guest, but I'm kind of a guest. You know, it's like you'd think they want to like perform a little bit better for somebody they don't know. Like you're saying, Gabe, like this family has this person they're taking care of. You know, they're hosting.
Right.
You think they clean it up a little bit, but no,
Yeah.
they're just like, no, we're just gonna be dirty and you know all this stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I think they almost like, at least the family I was with, like they just kind of like continued as normal, but like it was just weird, right? Like paying that much money for it to be that dirty just felt dumb. Like if I'm gonna pay $600 a month, it better be my own apartment and it better be dirty because I made it dirty.
yeah,
You know?
exactly. So
That sounds
I just had to
awful.
get-
And
I had
it's
to get that out
crazy
of my
because
system.
it's not like our system was perfect by any means.
no,
But from what I've heard, like we just pretty decent in comparison. Like
I kept telling you guys, I'm like, I cannot believe that 8 guys were cleaner than 3 girls and 2 guys. Like it
Right.
just doesn't make any sense to me.
yeah, I mean
I find it funny, just like I ate half this box of Cheerios. Time to get another box of Cheerios.
Yeah.
And then just open a new box of Cheerios, you know, or like whatever the hell it is.
Well,
like,
I've
Or it's
definitely
like-
been that person where I like buy a second loaf of bread without realizing, you know, that I hadn't finished my first one. Like that happens all the time. But like
yeah.
I never
it's
went
like
over my
these-
pantry space or my fridge space. I mean, beer maybe, but we had a beer shelf and we had outside when it was cold. Like it wasn't.
And
Yeah.
a dedicated beer fridge. Like,
Oh yeah, yeah.
yeah.
And these guys aren't even 21, so they can't even drink. It's like
well,
they don't even
they
have to worry
can't
about
buy
beer.
alcohol.
Well, they
They
yeah.
can't, sorry, they can't buy alcohol.
You tell me they
by
didn't have
themselves.
anything.
Sorry.
Like, come on.
They didn't have anything, dude. They had, I mean,
What?
Josh was over right before I left, and he took a picture of their mantle now, because we had. on the
Yeah, I
mantle
saw
we
it. It was
put
all
on, like-
LaCroix, right?
It was just LaCroix cans. Like we had fucking whiskey bottles and liquor bottles and you know beer everywhere.
Well, any
Yeah, we
unique
had
beer
LaCroix
we put on
cans
the
up there,
mantle.
too.
Yeah, but these guys are lame. So I just cannot comprehend just how disgusting these people were. But and I would love to visit the house in December and just see what it is with 7 people. You know.
Dude, I'll
Oh,
just show
especially
up
when
and
it's
be like,
cold
oh, sorry,
and you can't
I
even
thought
air it out.
I thought there was a house
Yeah.
party here. Just leave. I'll just show up. Fuck it.
Dude,
Dude, they were
Thursday-
talking about having parties, and I'm like, you guys could not have a
There's
party
no
with the way
way,
this place
dude.
looks.
Dude,
If they
just
have any
food all
parties-
over the counters.
If they have any parties, I will go and I will live stream it for you guys. I promise.
Dude, they'll probably put out some like little bookshelf speakers too that are like USB powered.
A
Blue.
And, like,
little
they're
Bluetooth,
like little
like
like
this big.
little like 2-inch drivers in them. Just,
Yeah.
We had some fucking ragers.
I guess the last thing I'll say is, so my unofficial job was taking out the trash on Tuesdays. Like nobody else did it. I was the person who was like it's trash day. I guess I'm taking out the trash. So like I just want to see the trash pile up in this place before
Oh
somebody
god.
takes it out, and I guarantee some skunk's gonna get into it again, and it's just gonna be just nasty.
You're gonna
Yikes.
marinate.
Yeah.
I wouldn't feel bad about it at all.
But I
Let
guess
them live
yeah,
in filth.
the real tragedy about this is like I was telling you guys, like my memory of O House is like very like altered now. Like it's got some
Yeah.
black spots on it. You know, like we had such a good time there, and like I have a lot of really fond memories of there. But like this last experience has really just like chooched it for me.
Yeah, we really didn't have that many like fights or anything like crazy like that. I mean, we had a couple disagreements, but
Yeah, Jacob, but at least like for you, you left O House like. It's like when you, what's like that saying? You either live long enough to die a hero, or live.
You either die.
No,
while
you either die a hero, or you live long enough to become the villain.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
for like us, O House was the hero.
Yeah, you died
you.
heroes.
O House was the villain.
And it's like I loved that house so much, and yeah, it had its faults. I mean, what house doesn't? Gabe ripped the door off his hinges one time. You know, I mean, things happen. But
When did you do that?
the bathroom door on the first
dude,
floor.
that was
Oh, yeah.
bound to
He's like-
happen.
I know
I
he's like
also
touched it, and the
kicked the-
entire.
I
also
literally
kicked
like
the door
I think I
open,
just
though.
gently opened it and it just fell off.
You just happened to be the one to open it on its last time.
Right,
Yeah.
is what
and the
it was.
landlord was there that weekend, wasn't he?
Yeah, he just
Yeah.
fixed it like immediately.
He's like, oh, I got 6-inch deck screws. We can fix this.
Yeah.
He just it's like, let's just put it further in the wall. Like,
well, in that Dayton, there's that time we were in the winter, we were leaving the back door and it wouldn't open,
Oh yeah, because the lock was frozen.
and you're like, I got it, and just break the entire door
Oh
frame.
yeah, I just fucking broke the trim. Just kicked it straight through. Hey, I got the door open, didn't I?
You got the door. It
It didn't
didn't close for a
close.
while after that, but
Whatever.
dude, because that trim freezes, so it's gonna get
Uh-huh.
that door's not gonna close for most of the winter.
well, that was the problem. Is like that wood would expand or contract depending on the temperature. So
Well, there's
especially
also
in
the
winter,
ice buildup underneath the door, which we figured
Yeah.
out in the last winter, but.
Yeah, we still couldn't really get
But
it.
I'm
It took us
saying
a
for-
season, but we figured it out.
Do you think they're gonna figure it out?
Hell,
Oh,
well,
hell
actually,
no.
I think I ripped that off, the weather stripping on the bottom.
Yeah,
like-
because it was definitely gone by the end.
Yeah, dude. I
They
just
honestly
got,
like rarely use the back door. They only use the front door, which is kind of weird.
That's weird. The back
That's
door.
the opposite for us.
The back door's
Well,
the way
did
to
they
go.
park up the hill?
No, they parked across the street.
Oh, okay. That'll last for until mid-November.
Yeah.
Or so.
Oh, I didn't even get into. I mean, there's only 5 minutes left, so I'm just gonna go into this really quick. So I told Dayton and Joseph about this. I didn't tell Gabe about it yet. So it's at some point during the summer, one of the girls' dads came up,
Oh yeah.
and you know, whatever, you know, it happens. And I had this this recurring issue where somebody in the house would bring up family and just like not put it in the group chat, so I would just not know they were there. So there was one day when I opened my door to go to take a shower, so I'm like walking out shirtless, you know, and there's just like an old grandma sitting on the couch staring at me, and I'm like, hi there.
Should have been like, Waza!
Do you want to do a keg stand?
You want a beer?
So anyways, this girl's dad comes up, you know, and it's like, okay, whatever. And he was the mastermind behind getting the bar back up to the first floor. Anyway, so I get home from campus one day, and he's there like working on something. I don't fucking know. He's building some shit, and everyone else in the house is gone at work. He starts talking to me. He's like, "Hey, how's it going?" And I'm like, "Hi, like I want to talk to you, you know." And he started talking to me. I'm like, "Whatever." So I bullshit with him for a little bit, and you know, whatever. He's a guy. He just built something like, you know, just here's have a beer. You know, I'll give you a beer, whatever, right? So I gave him a beer, and I had to cook dinner anyway. So I'm like, fuck it, I'll just talk to this guy while I cook dinner. So I quickly learned this is a fucking terrible mistake, because this guy turned out to be a massive ass sexist, and it was just very uncomfortable. So I'm cooking, we're drinking beer, and he starts talking about their family, and it turns out that the mom, like the girl's mom, died like 7 years ago. And I'm like, oh shit, like I'm so sorry, like that's terrible. And he goes, nah, I mean, things are a lot better now because of it. And I'm like,
Oh,
I'm like, really? And I'm trying to be very like just neutral on this conversation because I'm just like, what the fuck? And he proceeds to talk to me for like 30 minutes about how much his life is better because his wife died. And I'm just like,
Jesus.
holy shit. So like according to him, he's like, yeah, she would just like want things all the time and I had to buy it for her and she would take all my money and she would always bitch at me and all this stuff and I'm like, fucking yikes, dude. Like you're just talking so much shit about your dead wife and the mother of your children, you know? And then he starts talking about women in general. It's like, yeah, women these days, they trick you. They're nice for 6 months, and then you marry them. Then you see who they really are. And I'm like, fuck you, dude. Like,
Okay,
and
I
I
think
didn't
you
want
should
to
be
off,
like.
who
dating
the
for
fuck
someone
gets
for longer than
married?
6 months.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. So I went. I mean I quizzed him a little bit because I didn't want to get super angry, which I was like on the inside I was fucking fuming, but like I didn't want to like let that show too much. And but yeah, and he was talking about how yeah, women these days they just want you to buy them stuff. That's all they want. They don't care about you at all. They just want to use you as a wallet. And he kept saying like women these days, women these days. And I'm just like, I want to say like you have a fucking daughter, dude. Actually, you have two daughters, and like you're spouting all this shit about women. Like you're trying to say your daughters are different. Like what the fuck, And yeah, so he's just talking all this shit about his wife. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, let me get some intel. I'm like, so how did you and your wife meet? And he goes, oh, we met online. And I'm like, okay. And how long did you guys know each other before you got married? And he's like, about 6 months. And I'm
Ugh.
like, interesting. And I said, that's interesting. Why didn't you date for longer? And he goes, well, if we did any longer, we probably wouldn't have gotten married.
Sounds like
My
a
And I'm like,
genius.
interesting. It's like, what the fuck were you thinking, dude? And like, they got married when they were like late 30s. So like, what I understand, there's like societal pressure and all this stuff to get married. I don't know anything about that. We're all young. I don't want to judge them too hard for that. But also, it's like, fuck, dude, come the fuck on. And I was like, are you aware that like divorce rates are a lot higher for people who've only dated for like less than 2 years or whatever and all this shit? And yeah, he just like kept talking so much shit about women in general, and I was getting so mad, but I couldn't leave the kitchen because I was fucking cooking. So I'm
Yeah.
trapped there with this guy
Well, and I
and
think a
trying
lot
not
of
to
those
lose my
people
shit.
have those conversations because with strangers because they know strangers aren't gonna disagree, especially when you're like forced in that situation where you like, if you disagree, like you're just gonna be even more uncomfortable, you know? So it's
Yeah,
like, what do you do?
yeah, and I didn't want to be like make it super awkward. But then he starts talking about how like when his wife died, her family left him all this money. He's like, yeah, that was the best thing that ever happened to me because I was able to pay off all my debt. And now I'm single. I can just wake up whenever I want. I can go golfing whenever I want. I need a steak dinner. No one's gonna yell at me. Blah, blah, I'm like, dude, what the fuck, man? Like, Jesus Christ, And it's like, I just, I get sick of the fact that like his daughter had to grow up with him like talking shit about her dead mom. You know? Like, I'm
Yeah.
sure he said some shit at some point. And it's like, God. But it got to the point where I was so mad, and I finished, eating, and I'm like, all right, I'm going for a walk. See you later. And I called like Dayton and Joseph because I was just fuming at this dude. I'm like, how the fuck do these people exist? Like I don't understand how these people are allowed to be in society. Like they're so just backwards and sexist and just unfair to this entire group of people. Like it's fucking terrible, dude. And I
Right.
just cannot wait for this entire generation to die out because like you know, I mean, this is an old
The best
white
thing
man
that can
who thinks
happen
he
to me
knows
is this
everything.
generation dies out.
I mean, I'm not saying it's fucking everybody, but you know what I'm saying? Like all these old white fucks who think they know everything. Like, oh, I know the secrets to women. I figured women out. It's like, fuck you, dude. Like, you can go die in a hole. Like, God, because they're not gonna change their minds. They're set in their ways, and it's fucking terrible.
Yeah.
The sad thing is there's so many of those people that raised their kids that have a similar
Yeah.
view, so it's not going to end that quickly, which is the
Yeah.
shittiest part.
I mean, I feel like, or I hope that like I feel like our generation's pretty progressive, and
I
granted
think
there's
that's
some,
every
like,
generation though, if you look at it. At the time they
yeah,
were very progressive, and then
yeah. But we're getting better as a society, hopefully, in that department.
I mean,
I mean,
that's the
there's some areas of
idea.
the country it's worse, but what really makes me sick is like these old fucks in Congress who like won't fucking leave because there's no term limits.
yeah.
But
But they
I don't
also
get
have
into
to get
politics or anything.
voted in, so it's like the people that vote for that. Yeah, you get into a whole ordeal.
Yeah, it's a whole can of worms. But I just get very angry when I think about these people that are out there and can just do whatever they want and just be assholes, you know.
Hmm. So
But
tune in next week when Jacob bitches about Joseph as a roommate.
It's funny
Yeah.
because I can hear him through the air vent when he when he gets really heated. I can hear him.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like
So
there's an air vent connecting our rooms that like goes across the apartment.
Right.
it's
I know
great.
where
I
you're
can
putting
hear
the
his
stink
alarm.
bomb.
Oh yeah, dude, my alarm was super loud this morning, Joseph. I'm sorry. It was
I was
cracked up to
already
11 for
up.
some reason.
I was already up. I was eating my oatmeal. I was fine.
But yeah, I moved to Minneapolis. Everything was good except for Dayton doesn't know us yet. So we moved in, got all my shit in there. We live on the first floor, so we have a little balcony. That's a little bit off the ground, you know.
It's like, honestly, if you're standing on the ground, the top of the railing is about my height. It's about 6 feet high. So you have to be pretty tall to like reach over it, right?
Yeah.
So it's not like on the ground. It's not like accessible, I would say.
Yeah, it's not easily accessible. And so, you know, we put my bike on the balcony because, as you do, we don't put a dirty bike in the house. And the fucking idiot I am, I'm like, oh, it'll be fine. We'll just go to dinner quick. We're gone for like an hour and a half. Get back, bike's fucking stolen. I was in Minneapolis for 2 hours, and my bike got fucking stolen off our
Bruh.
balcony.
Yeah, we
And I
went
was
to
like,
we went to a
ugh.
brewery around the corner, got a beer,
Yep.
came back, checked, bike was still there, so we're like, fuck it.
Yeah, we glanced. Our bike was still there. We walked across the street to a pizza place. We were sitting outside. We were like within line of sight
Oh, you got that
of
pizza
the
place?
balcony.
Yeah,
It's like a
Yeah.
block.
yeah.
It's like literally a block. The
You
guy
can-
probably rode past us on my bike.
You
we
can
just, like, did,
see
like-
the pizza place very clearly from the balcony. Like, we honestly, if we looked, we probably could have watched them take the bike.
Yeah. But it's like, okay, so it was between 4:45 p.m. and 6 p.m. And it's like, it was sunny out. Like, who has the balls to fucking walk up there and grab that, like a bright day? We could have been sitting inside and totally seen it from the living room. Like, this guy had fucking balls, dude. Like, almost props to this guy for going for this bike. But, yeah, that shit's gone.
Yeah, say goodbye to your bike. It's either parted out by now or spray painted.
Yeah, it's fucking gone, which, you know, shit happens. I was just like, I mean, it was dumb of me not to lock it up, obviously. But also, it's like, my fucking luck. I'm in the city for 2
That's
hours.
why my
shit
bike
gets
is
stolen.
sitting right behind me right now.
Yeah.
I already dealt with a roommate that had a bike in the room. I didn't need another one. When Dayton and I
Joseph
lived
actually
in the
stole it.
dorms. Yeah, when Dayton and I lived in the dorms for like the first month or so,
Yeah, probably.
he didn't have a bike lock, so the bike was just leaning against my bed.
It
for, like-
wasn't even a big deal. You're
It
just
wasn't
like-
at all. I just like bitching about it.
Honestly, though, in Houghton, you could have just left that bike out in the parking lot. Nobody would have touched it for years,
Oh, yeah.
probably.
Yeah.
I was telling Joseph when I was in Houghton, moving out this last weekend. I went to the KBC with my mom. We were leaving, and we go to the parking lot. We get in our car, and I look over. This guy just left his truck with the engine on and the door open. The front door of the car open. He left to do some shit. And I'm like, that's Houghton right there. Like, nobody's gonna steal that truck 'cause it's fucking Houghton.
hmm
Because everyone's gonna recognize it. Be like, hey, that's Bill's truck. What,
Yeah.
what are you doing driving it?
I do miss Houghton a little bit, you know, just because there's so much less people. Like, just when I went shopping this weekend, and god fucking damn it, it's just packed. Like, everywhere is packed. Like, we're going to Cub to get groceries, and I'm like trying to move over the cart and not hit people. Just
It
making
was
fun of me.
hysterical to watch him go through Target. We had like a bookshelf, like, you know, unbuilt, like in the cart, so there's quite a bit of weight. And he's like maneuvering around people, and like, you know, the whole, I don't know, like dance you got to do around people because people are idiots and we're idiots. So like, you know, and his anxiety's kicking in, so it's like, oh,
Yeah.
do I go? Nope, no, don't go yet. Go right now. It was so funny. I loved it. I had a
Because yeah,
blast.
it's like you gotta take action to get ahead of people, but if they're idiots, they don't see it, then you hit them. So that's the whole thing. Then if you wait for them, it takes too long, and it's just like, there's people everywhere. I hate shopping.
It was
Yeah,
a good
I like
time.
Houghton. There's
I
nobody
enjoyed
at
it.
Econo.
Yeah, now my more card is useless, so.
Yeah, just tear it up. All right, well that's the podcast. That's That's me and Gabe ranting about the summer, mostly me. I had to get out of my system.
Hey,
Next week, we'll talk about some normal things, maybe. I don't know.
we'll see.
Yeah, Gabe will be back to normal audio, hopefully.
Yeah, I fucking hope so. Should be back in the UP, so.
Should.
Alright, we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
See ya.
See ya.
See ya.